Hello. This video is a little different. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. It is because we didn't have the video that we were going to upload today ready in time, and I didn't want to rush the video just for the sake of keeping the daily streak alive, but I also did want to keep the daily upload streak going, and so this is the result of that. However, I do think that this story needs to be told. This story comes from my live stream last night. I try to tell like really fun and engaging and relatable stories to the chat before we like kind of get into the action. And normally I feel like I do a pretty good job of that, although last night I will admit I told one of the least relatable stories I have ever told. And I didn't think it was at the time. Like at the time of me telling it, I was like, oh, this is great. Everyone's gonna find this hilarious. And it wasn't until I started telling it that I realized most people had no idea what I was even talking about. And so I want to first give you the background knowledge that you need to enjoy this story, but then more importantly, enjoy watching me realize that no one has any idea what I'm talking about. So first things first, this is a groundhog. It's a little ugly rodent thing that apparently lives exclusively in North America. I did not know that. I thought everyone worldwide knew what groundhogs were. Most of the time, they don't do much, except for one groundhog in particular who does a lot one day out of the year. We have this one really weird holiday festival thing that happens once a year, and you're gonna have to stick with me here. I'm gonna try to not sound insane when I talk about this, but the holiday is called Groundhog's Day. Basically, in this middle of nowhere town in Pennsylvania, there is one groundhog named Punxsutawney Phil. As the lore of the tradition goes, on every February 2nd, Groundhog's Day, Punxsutawney Phil will come out of his home and he will look to see if he sees his shadow or not. For some reason, when the groundhog sees his shadow, that is indicative that there will be another 6 weeks of cold winter weather. I don't know why. Groundhog experts, do your thing in the comments. If he does not see his shadow, hooray, warm weather is coming soon. Look, I don't understand it either. It's like barely in the United States people know what I'm talking about apparently. I grew up like somewhat close to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, which is where this whole shindig takes place. And so I kind of just taken it for granted that everyone knows what I'm talking about here. But yeah, basically that's the tradition, that's the holiday. And now that you kind of understand all of that at a base level, I guess, now you can enjoy this story. I start this story off with a lot of assumptions about what my audience knows about this weird holiday, and none of them ended up being true, so please enjoy. Oh, I wrote this down, but then I found out it was a lie. M texted me over yesterday over lunch, right? And she sends me a text very casually. Just goes, hey, Punxsutawney Phil died. I'm from Pennsylvania. Okay, there's not a lot going on there. You can't just drop that old Philly D died on me, all right? You can't just say Punxsutawney Phil died. Like, I have to mourn, I have to pay my respects. You know I met him. You know I met old Philly. I met Punxsutawney Phil. We were driving past Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, went like half an hour out of our way for it. Honestly, he's kind of just sitting around doing groundhog things. So like there's not much to it, honestly. And that's kind of all that town has to offer. But I still met him and I was like, that is so sad. That is so sad. I can't believe it. On Groundhog's Day, what are the odds of that? And then she goes, oh, never mind. It was some other groundhog. You can't just, there is such a huge difference between Punxsutawney Phil dying on Groundhog's Day and just a groundhog dying on February 2nd. And I'm just like so nonchalantly was like, oh, never mind, different groundhog. Don't worry. I was like, so like, that felt like a bad omen. That felt like a sign that something was off in the universe. If Punxsutawney Phil dies the morning of Groundhog's Day, you know that guy does his job at like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning or whatever. Like whenever he does that job, he does not have to live for very long to make it through his Groundhog Day activities, you know? And for him to beef it the morning of, I was like, that is not good for us as a people. But thankfully, M's information was incorrect, and Punxsutawney Phil lives on. So anyway, she also then afterwards sent me, she was curious, like, how long has Punxsutawney Phil, like this Punxsutawney Phil, been alive for? And I think, don't quote me on this, I think that the official, also, hold on, before I move on, I bet there's a lot of non-Americans. Do you even know what I'm talking about? We have Groundhog's Day in America. I feel like this is necessary to explain if you don't live in America. I don't even know if this is a non-American thing anyone does. We have Groundhog's Day, all right? Jeez, no, they said no. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, all of you non-Americans. I'm just talking about this groundhog, and you're just like, Okay, I'll wait for it to be done. All right, this is, oh my God, this is so stupid. All right, let's take a step back. I'm gonna try to explain this without sounding like our country is clinically insane. So we have this holiday where the groundhog tells us what the weather's gonna be in the future. Okay, that was not a strong start. His name's Punxsutawney Phil. He lives in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. Like, literally, that's the only thing that goes on is Punxsutawney, in Punxsutawney, is this groundhog thing. Every February 2nd, the groundhog wakes up, he comes out, and if he sees his shadow, then there is to be another 6 weeks of winter. The groundhog knows it. If the groundhog comes out of his living space and doesn't see his shadow, then that means that winter will, like, end a little earlier and it'll be warm weather. I think, okay, I think at this point, if you don't know what Groundhog's Day is, you're probably good to continue not knowing what Groundhog's Day is. I'm just gonna move on from the groundhog worship holiday that we have in America, and we're just gonna move on from that. I hope that's okay. I'm not reading any of the chats. I don't want to hear what anyone has to say about Groundhog's Day. Don't say what is a groundhog. If you're asking me what is a groundhog, I promise you have zero ability to understand the Groundhog's Day story. If you're asking what is a groundhog, wait, that might be a serious thing. Are there groundhogs outside of the United States? Do non-Americans even know? Where do groundhogs live? Dude, my world is falling apart. Where do groundhogs live? I thought you were being a funny guy, but like, they're widely distributed across North America. No, oh my God, you non-Americans don't even know what groundhogs are. Oh my God, I have never told a less relatable story. Look at this. This is a groundhog, this little critter. So this is the magic man that tells us Punxsutawney Phil. This is a groundhog. This ugly guy, this creature. This is not Punxsutawney Phil. That's the guy who's holding Punxsutawney Phil. This guy comes out of his hole. This is what it looks like one day a year. This is Phil. He's the groundhog, the shadow. Okay. Let's move on. Wickedy, are you ready to start? I'm gonna call Wickedy now, and we're gonna start our modded meadows adventures.